Dave knows I was physically upset on Tuesday.
He was not happy.
I was not enthused with what I saw, and it's two things. One, I think Nintendo had as strong a press conference as both Sony and Microsoft did, and I think I think that is the most damning criticism that I can come up with. I think Jack Tretton after the Sony press conference just went back to whatever plush, it's Sony, so everything's black and white and chrome, and poured himself a scotch or whatever he likes to drink and was like, well, it's Nintendo's show now. And then the next morning after Nintendo's press conference, he kind of jumped out of bed and went, we're back in it.
We're going to win this.
Because I said, Microsoft and Sony kind of handed the show to Nintendo and said, it's your guys' year, go with it. And Nintendo kind of said, you can have it back.
Nothing really new.
Do you want to play games on the Wii U that you already played?
Because that's all you're getting.
But touchscreen, you get a touchscreen.
You get a touchscreen aspect. Yeah, I mean,
they really wanted us to be super enthused about that Arkham City demo, and unless there was any new content in that game, I'm talking new missions, new story.
It'll be easier to aim the batarang because you can touch on the screen where you want it to go.
New types of areas, anything. And it was just kind of no.
Yeah.
Remember about 2-3 years after the Wii launched, we were getting the same version of Call of Duty, but with movement controls.
Sort of, yeah.
It was
and it still didn't work very well.
Yeah, it was the sort of the exact same experience you can have better on another console, but with a little bit of waggle.
Yeah.
And I think that was the wrong message for Nintendo to send.
And some of their primary IPs aren't going to be real new games. I mean, Pikmin 3 looks like Pikmin 2, but better.
Which, for all intents and purposes, I have a GameCube, and I have played Pikmin, and I thought it was fun. But remember how we talked about sometimes Nintendo digs pretty deep in the Smash Brothers games?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those deep titles.
Yeah.
I don't know that...
It has a very niche market. It's not.
Yeah,
that's not going to sell systems. They needed either a really good new Super Mario Brothers, which they've got new Super Mario Brothers 2, which is new Super Mario Brothers for the 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
It's a port from one of their other systems. Mm-hmm. It may have some new stuff. I mean, it has their boost mechanic where you can add blocks to help people make jumps or whatever.
You're talking about new. This goes back to the confusion in Nintendo's press conference. Is you're talking about new Super Mario Brothers Wii U.
Yeah.
And there's now new Super Mario Brothers 2
for the
DS, for 3DS, which is different.
Okay. Well, either way, the new Super Mario Brothers Wii U looks remarkably like the one for the Wii. Yes? Okay.
So when they originally pitched New Super Mario Brothers Wii, they said that it was the evolution of Super Mario Brothers 3. That it was the sequel that they never actually did.
So it would be 4.
Yes. And I felt like it was new and invigorating, and it reminded me of what I loved about Super Mario, but at the same time was new and invigorating. And I'm wondering if, with new Super Mario Brothers Wii U, are we getting into kind of a Call of Duty, Madden iteration with
every
these titles?
Because that's kind of what it seems like.
Yeah, there's a couple new suits, and it's now on the Wii U tablet, and you can draw. But
yeah.
And the other thing is, who wants to have the tablet and be the drawy guy? They showed a lot of that asynchronous gameplay, and I always felt like, okay, so what you're really saying is one person has to sit out of the party.
Well, if everybody else is using just Wiimotes to do it, that guy has a whole controller to do other stuff as well. He can probably play on the pad and then go, okay, we're having a hard time with this, so he throws a block down. So he can still play, but he has to pay attention a little bit more.
It's like the Dungeon Master.
Yeah, basically. It's like a DM for your Mario game.
There's always the person who loves to do that.
Yeah, but that wasn't what we wanted.
No.
That wasn't a strong showing from Nintendo.
No, I mean, you got...
So, a new Mario game is obviously going to get people excited, regardless. It's new Mario.
I think this one won't.
Can we talk about something that looks exciting to me? What is this Zombie U game?
Oh, yeah, Zombie U.
I
was going to complain and bitch about Nintendo's press conference and then talk about Zombie U. So Zombie U looks cool.
I just watched a trailer for it. There's no gameplay, but it looks awesome.
Yes, Zombie U looks cool. I think it uses the gamepad in interesting ways, because apparently you can scan zombies in the environment to find out what they have, and apparently there's a couple jump scares with that and stuff, but haven't we played a zombie survival shooter before?
Oh yeah, wasn't it called Resident Evil?
Well, first person. I mean, didn't we play one last year, Dead Island? And is this going to be that different from that? And well, there's problems with that controller.
Yeah,
it's not multi-touch.
No.
It's not. Apparently, it doesn't self-calibrate.
No.
Apparently, Stephen Totilo from Kotaku.com has run into a few times in which it does wonky things, which you don't want.
That's a technical term, right?
Yeah, wonky. You don't want your show demo looking off.
Weird.
Odd. Yeah. But I'm for the same reason I wasn't sold on the DS when they first debuted it. I mean, that second screen's gonna be great and all, but am I looking down here at my lap? Am I looking up there at the screen?
Well, and that's just it, right? The second screen is not necessarily something that's always going to be feeding you information. Sometimes it could just be menu stuff. It could just be option stuff, whatever.
It could be your inventory in Mass Effect 3 that you played last year.
Yeah, it could be your inventory.
It looks like this is going to be a sort of indication of where Smart Glass is headed.
Yeah, it's
this looks pretty cool.
And that's kind of what all three of the big three are going to try to do. Is they're going to have some sort of, okay, now you have a second screen. Here's some more information. The Wii U is going to do it, straight up with the system. The
Xbox is going to have Smart Glass,
which you can use with almost any whatever tablets they approve, whatever kind of tablets they approve.
PlayStation's going to have,
and they're going to do it with the Vita, on the PS3. So
I mean, I don't want to blow anyone's mind here, but
they could have done that already.
The Vita stuff can be the Wii gamepad, the Wii U gamepad, but better. It has everything the same. It has everything. It doesn't have an infrared sensor, so there we go. But the PlayStation Eye can find the Vita. I've seen it in tech demos. And it's multi-touch.
Well, I mean, that's cool, but if you're holding the controller with one hand and you're touching it with the other, well, yeah, but I know. There's a lot of...
You'll get used to it. That's the weird thing.
There's a lot of things that you may not need on the Wii U.
Yes.
So we'll just have to see. But the primary focus with the Wii U also was, say you're sitting on the couch, your girlfriend wants to watch, a show. You still want to play video games, you can now play it on your Wii U controller, which that's kind of nice, and that's part of what they want to do. And also they've got this whole, I don't know if it's Wii.
So they successfully worked out a solution to the girlfriend dilemma.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
And you said nothing good came out of this.
Yeah, I mean, come on. So there's that kind of stuff.
But Miiverse showed up.
Yeah.
And Miiverse looks cool. It looks very much the Nintendo version of an online platform. I'm a little discouraged that it's going to be moderated, but at the same time, very pleased
that it'll be moderated.
Because I don't want
less trolls.
I don't want to load up New Super Mario Bros. Wii U and just dicks.
Yeah, that would not be good.
But the problem with the Nintendo press conference is they told us we have so many games to show you, we can't show you them all. And then didn't show us any.
So they decided not to piss anybody off.
I mean, they had a Platinum Games title that I don't know why they didn't show at the press conference. The only reason I can think of is it looked a little bit like Pikmin. We're talking about Project P100.
Yeah.
Which looked awesome, looked fun, which Pikmin really didn't to me.
Pikmin's Pikmin. It's a very niche market.
But they didn't mention it at the press conference, a lot like Sony didn't mention any Vita stuff, and Microsoft didn't mention a lot of stuff outside of the new media integration stuff, and it was just kind of weird and odd, and I maybe didn't like it.
Yeah, what I saw of the Nintendo conference didn't really get me excited about the new system or the 3DS.
It definitely didn't make me go, I'm buying that.
Well, I almost half expected them to say, hey, we're going to come out with a 3DS too, and now it's got a thumbstick. So you don't have to buy that monstrosity to attach to it, but...
Well, they had their own 3DS press conference too.
Yeah, and
which also didn't show us a lot of games. They didn't show Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Which I haven't liked the Fire Emblems because I'm a big retro gamer. I don't like Fire Emblems. I don't like turn-based strategy. on the home console, but I love it on the go.
Because it's great on the go. You can save at this point, pick it up in an hour and a half when you go to break or whatever.
And they didn't mention it in the press conference. Kotaku had to go and twist Reggie Fils-Aimé's arm.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's...
and they showed Nintendo Land, which, look,
It's the new Wii Sports.
good
but
God, I hope it's a packing game, because I don't think you should...
I think that's the plan.
I think if you charge people money for that thing, you should be brought up on war crime.
I think that's the plan. That is the new packing game for the Wii U. It has all their little rides. So you go around, you ride your little train around or whatever the heck it is, and it's like, okay, you play the Wii Sports for the Wii U. You play this, you play that. I don't think that's going to be your dashboard type thing, whatever they call it. But that's definitely something that'll be fun the first time you boot up your Wii U.
Yeah.
And you might bring it out on parties.
Okay, so before we get into third parties, what do you guys think of E3 in general this year?
I thought it was relatively disappointing. There wasn't a lot of new stuff in general. Nothing really that I hadn't seen or that I didn't already know something about out of any of the three big conferences. And the new tech that I saw, like the Unreal 4 engine, the one that Squeenix had, the Square Enix one looks really good.
Squeenix, I don't believe that was real-time rendered.
You don't think that was real time?
No, it was too good. And if it is real-time rendered, I want that machine.
You want that
yesterday.
PC? Yeah. Overall, from what I saw of the big three at least, I didn't see a lot that I liked.
I think the conference the press conferences were very workman. I mean, it was very blah and normal, and I think it bites back to the why is this expo held in the beginning of June? I mean, is that just the time when we've all budgeted the development teams can have that week off to go do stuff? I mean, why don't we? I feel like it would be better served moved into September.
At the end of summer, where
especially with
you can get a lot more hype for the Christmas stuff. You give the developers a little bit more time to get stuff done,
and especially with things like Gamescom, kind of becoming less of a thing.
Yeah,
I mean, right around the time of the Tokyo Game Show.
Well, and the Mac one's tomorrow. WWC or whatever the worldwide something or other, and everybody's talking. Oh, what are they going to announce at Mac thing? It's like, why didn't Mac just save some money and buy a slot at E3?
Well, because they want to control the discourse.
Yeah,
you can't at E3.
Yeah, you can't do that really.
Because Nintendo had Sony or Microsoft come out and said, "Here is a sizzle reel for the next system."
Yeah, everything they showed would be just whatever.
And I think that's part of the reason Nintendo seems so underwhelming is that it is.
They showed all that stuff last year, and now they're showing it again with some improvements.
Yeah, it is just like the Wii came out on the same date-ish as the PS3. This is just like if the Wii came out a year before.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense, but nothing I've seen there blows me away. It's going to be developers using that tablet effectively.
Yeah.
And I think third parties aren't going to have that much of a reason to do that.
No. And I think what's going to happen is the Wii U is going to become a port console. It's just going to get ports of whatever the at least this year, whatever the 360 and the PS3 get.
Well, whatever the 360 and the PS3 got last year.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, once it launches, they're going to get those games. Like, it's going to get Assassin's Creed whenever it comes out. Like, whenever the Wii U comes out, that's going to be a launch title for the
Why aren't they getting Black Ops 2? I think that is a damning criticism of the Wii U, is that
it's not getting Black Ops 2 right off. And now it may get it 6 months after. It may be in development now. It just depends on when the dev team got their Wii U test system to try to make a game for it.
So do you guys want to take a break before we discuss third parties? So we can change out the card? Do we need to change out the card?
We only have one card.
Okay.
You let me check it out. You guys talk.
Okay, so we'll do third parties really quick. My third party game of the show should probably be Watch Dogs, because it was amazing looking.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
But Assassin's Creed 3. I didn't like Assassin's Creed 1.
The original.
I never played 2 or 2.2 or 2.5 because it did not interest me. And it's the more I see of Assassin's Creed 3, the more I like it, the more I want to play it.
Yeah, but I'm
Tomahawk to the face.
I'm already sold on Assassin's Creed 3. I I played 2, 2.5, and 2 3/4, or whatever you want to call it. So those are all fine. I would love to play the one for the Vita, but alas, I don't own one, and I'm not going to buy one just for that.
Well, there's a lot of other good reasons to buy a Vita that are out now.
Yeah.
But we won't get into that.